how has being a Black woman in business been a positive, been a negative?
That's an interesting question because I'm a Black woman. For me, it's always positive. But that doesn't mean that negative things don't happen. When it comes to raising capital, I think there's a lot of assumptions that people make. People make the assumption that if you're in business, you can go to your family or you can go to your friends and you can ask them for $15,000 or $20,000. And some of us are in a position to be able to do that. Some of us are come from families where we can do that. Many of us don't have that opportunity. And so we can't just go to our uncle or our father or our sister or our mother or anybody and say, do you have 10 grand or 15 grand or $25,000 or $100,000 to help me start this business? Many of us are, it's cash in, cash out. And so when it comes to raising capital, I think what people that have capital miss is that we just don't have the resources to even start to have that conversation or to even be invited to that table. And so that's why it's great that there's organizations like the Women of Color Connecting that was founded by Jill Johnson of the Institute for Entrepreneurial Leadership.
Which is how you and I met.
Right, which is how we met. I mean, what she's doing is amazing because although Black women are opening businesses more and more and more, and we're actually the largest population growing as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, but we make less money than anyone else. And our businesses don't take off, even if they do have the potential to be scalable. And that's because we just don't have the resources and we don't have the relationships. If you don't have those relationships starting out, then you're behind the 8 ball, especially when it comes to raising capital.
It's simply a symptom of the racial wealth and income gap.
There are people of color that have generational wealth, but it's not, I don't know how to put it.
It's just not as prevalent.
Right. It's just not as prevalent. And
that's just the fact. I mean, as an example, I don't come from generational wealth per se. I grew up solidly middle class. My grandparents were middle class. My wife and I at one point had a business plan to start a great business that we ended up not starting, but we raised $250,000 pretty darn quick through a small business loan and through friends and family. Right. I mean, it was really, we made a bunch of phone calls and boom. I mean, we had it. It was pretty simple. And that's not even from generational wealth. That's from just knowing people who have some wealth.
The other piece is that you don't ask people for that kind of money, right? Culturally, first of all,
all right, I felt kind of weird doing it.
Right, like most people don't have it.
But I asked.
Exactly, but most people don't have it, right? Most African Americans that I know don't have that kind of money to give.
Right.
And not only that, then you're not taught to ask for money, right? Because you've grown up in this world of you have to depend on yourself and you have to be reliant upon yourself and you have to make your own way. So if you're making your own way, you're not asking people for money.
Right.
That's not even something that really ever crossed my mind to go to my family or my dad's friends or my mom's friends and say, hey, you got 20 grand, you could help me with this business. It never crossed my mind.